So many things have been happening. And honestly, everything just seems like it's just setting me up for failure. There's like an electrical current happening. I'm not too sure what exactly, but no matter what I try to do, it's just messing up this. Sorry, guys. Hi, guys. My name is Zakia, aka the Nerdsia. I'm Toronto's, or I think everybody's favorite nerd. Um, Basically, I'm coming on here to explain myself for a lot of the mishaps and fails that I have literally ran into, walked into, done, whatever the word you want to describe, that would actually explain everything that I am feeling at this very moment. The year is 2025, and the world is just falling apart as we speak. Not only just my internal one, but the actual world itself. Um, Here in Canada, today, January 6th, officially, our PM, Prime Minister, has stepped down. Um, Trump won again in the States. And I mean, from a personal level, a lot of things that I had hoped and wished for and even planned for didn't fall through. Whether we're talking from a personal level to career to spiritual to hobbies to social stuff, you guess it, you name it, whatever you want to put your finger on. Did it happen? Did I try? For sure. And I mean, I love, love, love that we stress so much to everybody that the importance of trying. It's one thing to try, but it's another thing to execute. And that's the part that's the most important part, the execution. So in today's video, I'm really going to speak on almost everything that I have done wrong this year, or technically last year, 2024, and basically how I hope to change everything that I did and learned this year. In the beginning of 2024, I started with a series talking about the different ways of entrepreneurship and how to make money. And what I thought would have been definitely an overextended or overarching um, endeavor definitely became more of an end faster than anything. Um, Mind you, it wasn't the fact that the actual content itself was difficult or producing it was difficult or finding the energy was difficult, but something about the discipline and just something about it that just became sidetracked. Discipline was no longer a word that existed for me in this area or this domain. And the more that I felt that I was moving towards the direction that I thought was the best direction for me, it ended up becoming the biggest pushback, the most resistance. And I don't know, it just became one of those things where I ended up facing imposter syndrome because was I able or truly able to do exactly what I said I was going to do? Was I going to be able to deliver? And if I did deliver, was I really happy with the results of what I did? Again, everything that I was teaching you guys was literally everything about entrepreneurship, how to make money, how to take something and turn it into something, and using your creative endeavors and flipping it into something profitable. Now, of course, I'm not one of those people who have like that gung ho attitude and are definitely on edge for everything and ready to start life and just, jet ski in 2 seconds. But there was something about it where it was like, I don't have the persona or the personality that comes off that way. And I wish there was a way that I could genuinely come off without having to be so over the top or theatrical, especially in front of the camera. Now, days like today are more along the lines of what I was experiencing throughout my entire year. Days like today were very hard and are still very hard. So, as much as YouTube is a space for people to create and share and develop and all these things, sometimes I do feel like there is a space where there needs to be some level of introspection as well as experience and reality and commentary. Just to share exactly some of the things or the psychology that goes behind doing exactly the things that you want to do and that you're trying and pushing and striving so hard to be. And that was my reality. I was trying to be somebody who was giving advice and answering questions like I actually do at work. I actually do a lot of problem solving. It is required of me. I'm a digital design technician. People come, they bring questions, and we actually answer and try to solve them to the best of our knowledge or with the help of Google, of course. But something about it just became so difficult. Now, I create videos. I have a business, as you can see behind me. I do this. I get hired to put director cuts together and pitch it to clients and let them know about what is and what's possible within the budget that they're asking for and negotiating or even just trying to like have that little dialogue. And for whatever reason, it just didn't seem to phase in the way that I had hoped for. Just life wasn't giving me exactly what I was wanting. I wasn't bearing any fruit and it was showing. And I was feeling it because I was hungry, starving, actually, literally. Again, you don't see these things, right? Just recently, I had posted on my Instagram a recap of 2024, how everybody has been saying that hasn't been the best year for them. And for myself included, it was not the best year. And I had shared and was very vulnerable about a lot of the things that I had experienced. My health, like I had mentioned earlier, had gone to ish, and I I ended up finding out that I was diagnosed with fibroids. Um, not one, but three, and not the size of an olive, the size of my fist. And then this was also the first time the conversation of fertility and whether or not I was going to be able to have children was actually posed as a problem. That was really hard. That was rough. So, on this high horse of 2024, thinking that I was going to be able to amount to all these things, and I already had written all these plans out, had my paper all on the table, was busily just putting in ideas and just plotting everything in, and then all of a sudden, reality. Mhm. It's a nasty game. And I think one of the nastiest games as a creative. So that ended up happening, finding about my health. And of course, I kind of took it and I said, you know what? God willing, everything will work out and I will just continue to be able to be prosperous. I'm still alive. I'm still functional, even though my hormones are out of whack and my body's bloated in so many ways. And I look like I'm a 4 to 6 month pregnant woman, but that doesn't matter because why would anyone care? That has nothing to do with my skills or my ability to show up and deliver. Mm, boy, was I wrong. Now, because I look like a pregnant woman, a lot of times people would not hire me because the understanding is that you're due. They don't want to put you under stress. They don't want you to work too hard. They have all these preconceptive notions, and you can't do anything about it. So, but that could have still been a space for me to actually redirect my energy and concentrate more on this digital virtual world called YouTube with you guys, right? Until I got into a car accident. Mm, no. I know. What can I do? They hit me, tailgated me at an intersection while I was yielded, and they had pushed the pedal pretty hard. That took me out for quite some time. Yeah. So now, not only dealing with hormonal issues, but also dealing with migraines and constant headaches and body aches and stiffness and inabilities to roll over some days, while other days just not able to walk or having the appetite to eat. What I mean, all of this was happening to me last year. And yet, I still continue to try and push things and promote things. And whatever I could do from a computer, I tried to make sure that I stayed on it. Even in doing all of that, I too am also a dancer, so I am a performer. I do ballroom. And for some of you who do know and who are on my Instagram, you would know this. For those who don't know, I'm the girlie who's in the scene. They call me Princess, Princess Naija. But after that happened, I started the year, like I said, gung ho, super full of energy, everything going for me. And going from traveling towards different parts of Ontario, making my way and getting my trophies and collecting my stamps so I can start moving or going towards Vancouver and then to New Jersey and New York and Brooklyn and all those places just for it to halt because of a car crash. Now, I stayed local. Again, did whatever I could to just try and do the best that I could do as a creative. And sometimes when you're telling people that, hey, I'm not feeling too great, and hey, I can't show up, or hey, I can't deliver, oftentimes people kind of look at it as like, well, I extended the olive branch to you, and now you're not able to reciprocate it. So what's the deal? And oftentimes when you have those type of relationships, it's very transactional. People want because you give and you give because you want, right? But it's not necessarily that's how I go about doing things. I just kind of go about it because like I want the best for you and I care about you and I want to see it through for you. So I will show up just because. But because I was known as that girl who would show up, but I started not to, a lot of people kind of started losing faith in me because I'm that person for them. And again, it sucked. One thing I've noticed about being a creative is that it has its ups and its downs. And I wish I had more ups than I did downs, especially last year. There's just some things. And mind you, I did accomplish a few things. I'm not upset about that at all. You know, I still got an award for Carrie for 2024. Um, I still was represented in so many different ways. People who I worked with, especially for photography, my past work was actually resurfacing and actually being used for different promotions or advertisements or for articles and stuff. And so people were getting places as a result of my work. And it was lovely to see, but it's different when you're not really able to, nor are you really in the height of it for yourself to be able to really share that applause with them. Kind of sucked. So this year, what I've learned from 2024 and what I would apply for 2025 are so many things. Definitely the shift and the transition into more digital products, especially where if my body is not able to meet what the demands are, at least I have something that is intangible or a digital asset that will allow me to be able to still move and still be okay. For the longest while, I've been sitting on a project of making a digital book, my first digital book, um, and like actually publishing it. And it's one of the biggest things that I'm so proud of creating. And it's been years, but like I said, like as years has gone by, I've actually kind of lost parts of my book. And this is where I'm at right now in life. So I'm looking and navigating to find and create another book, though everything that's happened to me is still affecting me to this day. And I'm still trying to work on being better and bettering my craft. What's great is that now I've officially figured out a niche that I feel more suitable and confident and more willing to be in, and that's branding. I've worked with a few brands and they've done amazing. And like I mentioned, I'm going to have some of the people that I've worked with and the work that I've contributed to and added to and the places that my work have been. But obviously, I want to maximize that even more. So I'm very proud of what I've done. I'm very proud for everything that I have been able to touch. I'm very proud to help all who I have helped in the time. And I plan on continuing to do so. Another thing is strategy. I did have a strategy last year. I wrote it down. I knew I was going to do it week by week, how I was going to deliver it, the ways I was going to deliver it, marketing, paid advertisements, A/B testing, the whatever it was, you name it, I got it. I had it down. Mm, still the plan, still the plan. And this time we're going to actually execute it better. Last year, I was able to get data, and that was really great to pull from and be able to then now apply it. So moving forward, I will know what to do better for you as a viewer. And mind you, my style, I personally like to just have a conversation because I feel like it's just best. I feel like I would rather make it easier so it's like we're just friends, you know? I'm just your local nerd. Yeah. Then on top of it, the other part is just collaboration. I said to myself I was going to work with more people. I've been doing this by myself for a very long time, and I have not been opening up myself to let other people in, let alone just really having a hone or taking advantage of the fact that other people want to be involved with what I'm doing. Anyways, um, and the last thing is vulnerability. Vulnerability and transparency as to where I'm at all times. I'm so used to curating everything and making it seem like everything's okay, but really, literally before I even got onto this, I was crying, mm, breaking down, hand, face. Yeah, obviously for another reason. But today's day, for example, the worst. It was a lukewarm day that gave my feelings a shock of polarization. And yeah, it's one of those days. Best way to explain it. Even though I don't really have much to add to this, um, I just wanted to give an explanation as to why I've been gone. And even though the intention for what I was trying to do, I still plan on finishing it. And that's probably the biggest thing that I really do want to do is just finish an actual series from the beginning to the end for a year. Um, I know, yeah, last year I was super ambitious. $1 million, helping 10,000 people. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do feel that way and I still do think it's possible. It may not take a year, but I know it'll happen. I really do. before I start crying again. This year is going to be a better year. And everything that I'm planning for is going to come true. And I hope it comes true for you too this year. I hope you guys have a better day today. Till next. Later.